Hey, what is going on? This is Mike Clark, Keys of Knowledge, back at it again, man. You know what we working for, man, the war team, man. So if you see us out there, definitely come say hi. All right, listen, we are going to talk about closing costs and we're going to talk about down payment assistance programs, right? That's what I want to talk about. I told you all week we're going to be speaking about the Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program. Again, we talked about it briefly yesterday. Went ahead and I told you guys about the website that you guys can go on. That's attached to the El Paso, Texas.gov website. So this information right here, you go to El Paso, Texas.gov. This is under the Community and Human Development Program or department. So let's go back to the beginning so you guys can see how I got there. So let's say we go back to the beginning. Boom. So we're at the beginning. This is the website. Let's see if we can find a department. All the departments here, health, here we go, community, human development. So it's under the education, housing, and growth. So from here, we're going to look and then you can see a little bit of information right here. Our responsibility to serve as a catalyst for community partnership, collaboration, and change, ensuring equity, resilience, sustainability for the most vulnerable El Pasoans by giving voice to the underrepresented, supporting a strong system of human services, and investing in El Paso homes, families, and neighborhoods. So, we can't say El Paso's not trying when they have a mission statement like that, right? We just got to hold them accountable and make sure that there are actual programs being done. So someone's thinking about it. There is a department for it. Let's just make sure we're pushing and making sure that they're doing their job and their due diligence to make sure that this is continuing to happen, because that's a powerful, powerful mission statement. All right. So from there, of course, we're going to go right here, community assistance, community and homeless assistance program. I believe it's under here. So let's click here and see what happens. So let's look through here, starting from the very beginning. Neighborhood programs. Let's see, neighborhood programs. Parks and Recreation, Neighborhood Summit, 915 Trees. Oh, this is definitely not it. Where we at? Where we at? Where we at? Neighborhood Program and Services Center. So it's a little ways to get in here, man. I'm not gonna lie. It's a little ways to get in here. It's not as easy as it looks from the very beginning. I actually have a link that I do. So housing programs. Here we go. This might be it. Let's see. So we got housing resources, right? U.S. Department, Texas Workforce, Texas Rio Grande Legal Aid. So there's a bunch of resources right here, but we are looking more specifically for this right here. Okay. Yep, here we go. All right, so we're gonna go back to the very beginning. That way, at least we locked in and we're figuring this thing out together, right? Like I said, I just clicked it from the link that I had, but just so we can find it easily, right? We're gonna go to departments. We're gonna click under the header education, housing, and growth. We're gonna go down to community and human development. From there, we're gonna go to neighborhood development. And we're gonna go to Housing Finance Corporation. Boom. Once again, just so you guys understand, the El Paso Housing Finance Corporation is an independent entity created pursuant to the Housing Finance Corporation Act by the City Council as a nonprofit corporation and has been in existence since 1979. I'm pretty sure most of us, we just heard about it today in 2025. So that's that, right? All right, so now what we're looking at is the Mi Casa Homebuyer Program. We need help and assistance when it comes to closing costs and down payments. So we need to find out how this program can help us, who's eligible, how does it work, all those great things. So once again, you get this little snippet right here. There's two home buyer programs that are on here, or down payment programs as well, that's on this particular website. Quick snapshot, right? But we're going to talk more about Welcome Home El Paso down payment grant program, most likely tomorrow. No, not tomorrow, next week. I want to do just full week of just Mi Casa home buyer grant program. Once again, this shows that it says apply now for up to $20,000 in down payment assistance. It's a grant fund that's available now. This is their phone number. Definitely give them a call. Now, it also says funds won't last long. Remember, they're awarded so much money and they have to spend so much money, right? And that's the way this program continues to go on. They got to show an actual need for it. And there is a need for it. There's a lot of people that need this assistance. However, when it comes to finding it or knowing that it's available, we don't know where to start. So that's where I'm trying to bridge that gap and help. So now it says grant funds must be used for down payment and closing costs. So it could be either or, right? Or both. Home must be purchased within the El Paso city limits. Okay. Must complete home buyer education counseling before closing. Typically, I believe this is like might be a class or two, maybe a video you got to watch, et cetera, et cetera. So something like that. But for $20,000, I promise you, I watch as many videos as you're asking. How many videos I need to watch to get this awarded to me. All right, the next thing must be a first-time home buyer if purchased in a non-targeted area. So understand that when it comes to this particular program and other programs alike, they're targeting certain areas that there's a housing shortage, a housing need over there, or homeowners that are needed in that area. Builders are over there. There's housing available over there. It could be a bunch of different reasons. So I know another big thing that people may think it might be is just like trying to steer people to a certain location. And I don't think that's true. And I'm going to show you the homes that are actually, in these targeted areas. It's going to show you that these aren't rundown homes. These are beautiful, beautiful homes that are available in these particular areas. Next thing, it says must meet income limits below. So I also want to be a little clearer with this, and we'll verify as well. Because like I said, we're going to call this number. We're just going to verify this information, make sure nothing changed. If anything needs to be updated, we're going to find out even more information. So it says household size, 1 to 2 people. So targeted area, you can make up to $109,920. So anywhere from, 0 to 109, 920. Now, when it comes to, of course, you still got to qualify for the mortgage. So you can't just not make any money. You have to be able to qualify for the mortgage as well. But this is an assistance program. So as long as you're making decent money, but it's not more than $109,920, if you are 1 to 2 person household, you're good in the targeted area. And you can see the difference for a targeted area versus non-targeted area. So if you're say, hey, look, I don't want to focus on that targeted area. I got a home that I really, really love. Okay, well, boom. As long as you're not making over 90,600, then you're good for this program. So if you're making 91, 92, 95, 100,000, you won't be able to qualify for this program is what it's looking like, right? All right, next thing. So when we're talking about a targeted area as well, 3 or more, 3 or more person household, and I'm pretty sure these need to be dependents. Pretty sure these need to be dependents, right? Not just like 3 random people in a home. All right. So as long as your 3 person household or more doesn't reach or doesn't make more than 128,000, then again, you are. It looks like it's good so far. Same thing in non-targeted area. You got 3 or more people in your household. This is the amount. You don't want to exceed that limit. You don't want to exceed that amount. But once again, if you're making 50,000 to 109, 60,000, 109, 40,000, 109, as long as you qualify for the home, you fall into this category, you're good to go. Good to go. And I would also still, even if I was a little bit over, I would still call. Me personally, I would still call. Just to see, it's always, this is a saying in the Army, you can always, you have to follow the policy. You can add to, but you can't take away. So you can add to something, but never take away from something. So, and there's always exceptions for everything. I promise you, man. You'll be surprised at the things people get just by asking. And asking, is there an exception too? So, boom. So now what we want to do here is we want to go to the actual program. So let me see. I think there's a website. So we're just gonna take this, boom, here, and then we're gonna go here and control V. Boom. Right. So now we're gonna go to Mi Casa Homebuyer program. Boom. This is the website. Now we're going here. Now look, you see the difference? It is a difference from what we just seen. Income must be at or below these limits. Because with what we just seen, for targeted area, household need to be 109. This is what's on the El Paso website, the city website. So 109,920, and then for 3 or more is 128. But now we're looking at, okay, 1 to 2 people could be at, instead of 90, 118, and 3 or more to 138. So that's beautiful. That's better. But that's one of the reasons why you definitely want to call and verify information, because things change. Like, I'm pretty sure when they first started this program and it was input into the El Paso city website, it was correct. But these type of programs change all the time, because you may find yourself finding out, man. And this goes back to education. This goes back to people understanding programs and knowing that the programs are available. They may not have enough awareness. There might not have been enough people that actually apply for this program, and now they're just trying to open it up to more people so they can go ahead and get this utilized. So now, like I said, we're on the El Paso.org, is El Paso HFC.org. This is / Mi Casa Grant Program. This is another way to trust that the website is a legit website. When you see .org, you understand you have to meet some criteria to get that .org. Now, you got a couple different tabs at the very top. You have your home, your Mi Casa Grant Program, down payment resource team, targeted area homes, home buyer. We're going to go through all of these one at a time. Now, there is a video. It's going to go over this actual program as well. View this video to learn more about the program, and then we'll talk a little bit more about it.
The Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program is a groundbreaking new initiative with 25.
And understand, this is AI, bro. This just took somebody's job, man. Somebody from the marketing team, a young intern could have did this, but this is AI. I'm telling you, man, look, AI is taking over, bro. Y'all gotta pay attention to those things.
$1 million worth of free grant money that will not require you initiative.
We missed that.
With $25 million worth of free grant money that will not require you to repay. The Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program offers 4% down payment assistance with no need to repay and competitive mortgage rates. It's perfect for first-time buyers or those without homeownership in the last 3 years. The house must be located in El Paso city limits. The income limits are shown on the screen. Let's talk more about income limits. Notice that target area homes allow for higher income limits. This means that when you buy a home located in one of the federally established target area, you are allowed to earn more income and still qualify for a Mi Casa grant. You do not have to be a first-time homebuyer if your desired house is in one of our targeted areas. Visit our website to learn how to look up a home address and see if it qualifies. El Paso has several qualifying target areas throughout the city of El Paso. With a minimum FICO score of 640, this program includes a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage and mandatory homebuyer education. Visit elpasohfc.org or give us a call to learn more and take the first step toward your new home today. Together, let's make your dream of owning a home come true.
Boom, and we're gonna go over that. So we're gonna find a couple of homes, and we're gonna look and see that if this particular home is in a target area. So I actually have been through that part.
The Mi Casa
I want to show you this part here, which I thought was important. So right here, minimum FICO score of a 640 is required. 30-year fixed rate mortgage is included. Must complete home buyer education. Once again, that's what we talked about, right? Now, it also talks about household income, what you can have. We talked about that briefly. The exact same thing. Income must be at or below these limits. Remember, it could be at or below, so that's totally fine. You will qualify based on these particular terms, right? Again, this is a great piece right here for you guys to see. It's a QR code. Definitely take a snapshot of the QR code, and definitely want to see if you can apply for it. All right, but it goes in more detail as well, right? So it says 4% down payment grant, 4% down payment grant. So that helps a lot when it comes to purchasing your first home. Must be a first-time home buyer. Remember what the AI system just said, what I said as well. If you already bought a home, but you haven't purchased a home in the last 3 years, you now qualify again for this program, which I think that's excellent. It's an excellent tool as well. And if you're looking at the investment strategy, like I've always talked about, say you use this program, you haven't bought a home in 3 years, you got your single family home, boom. Now we're going to put that up for rent. Now we want to go into a duplex, triplex, quadruplex. Say we find a duplex. Okay, now we got a duplex. You are willing to move into one. You're going to rent the other one out. You can use this program, 4% down payment. Boom. Now you got 4% going towards your closing costs, which helps a lot and helps with that transition, because now you got to spend so much money when it comes down to closing costs. I mean, it's a win-win for you. Let's see what else it says in this guideline. So grant must be used for down payment and closing costs. So you're not gonna be able to use it to fix up the yard or fix up the house, anything like that specifically. It's literally pay your closing costs. Pay down on a down payment if you need down payment. Remember, I believe most people that utilize this program, you don't have to just use this because it's not saying that. But FHA, think about FHA home loan, 3.5% down, 3.5% down. That's what you need. That's like the minimum for an FHA home loan. So we're looking at, let's pull up the calculator really quick. So for $200,000 home times point, let me see, calculator. I got another better calculator here. Oh man, why is this doing this? I gotta log back in, guys. Hold on. 03 at gmail.com. All right, here we go. So $200,000 home. We're going to use an FHA home loan. Remember, that moves your down payment 3.5. Current rates right now at the moment is around 5.875. Don't quote me on that because rates go up and down. And then, so 30-year term, we're talking about, I'm going to put sales concessions there like that. So your down payment will be $7,000. That'll be your down payment. So as you see, you can get an $8,000 grant. That'll cover your full down payment. So now you got closing costs. And once again, when you're going through the home buying process, having a realtor that's going to go ahead and advocate for you and negotiate for you is a huge plus. Because I tell you right now, it is a buyer's market at the moment. Nothing's changed with rates, so it hasn't made it a seller's market. It's currently still a buyer's market, so you have a little bit more leverage than the average buyer at the moment if you're actively looking for a home. I'll give you a great example. If you don't understand what a buyer's market is, it's simply saying that, hey, who has more power when it comes to selling a home? Does the seller have more home? Can the seller take the risk of saying, hey, look, I'm not willing to take this $200,000 offer at face value. I'm gonna wait for the next best offer. Well, let me tell you, there's not a lot of buyers. So when there's not a lot of buyers, there's not a lot of people actually purchasing homes. You may have to take that first offer. You may have to negotiate with that first buyer. That buyer may come in and say, hey, you want 200,000? I might only be able to do 180. Or hey, I'll do the 200,000, but I need help with my closing costs. This all helps at the end of the day in conjunction with this program. So This is a huge plus. Like I said, we already went through all the information, right? Must complete home buyer education, and it also even says online, so it's not even just in person, right? That's dope as well. So if you don't have that much time availability, there's no reason why you shouldn't have time to earn an extra 20 grand, but that's nice. Minimum credit score, like again, 640. And as you can see, even on this flyer, even on the website, this number right here, income must be below these amounts, is different than these numbers. You can see that these are more reasons why I tell you just call. Please call, and verify this information because it can change. Now it says ready to apply. One, you can email. Boom, you can email this email address, get more information. Also, you can contact EPHFC Mi Casa approved lenders. So these are approved lenders that work with the program, Change Home Mortgage. I work with an actual mortgage officer that works there. Um, Kaneem Manuel, man, he's really good. He's actually he's done this program. He's had clients that have done this before, so it's not new to him. He's seen it, and he definitely has a team of other mortgage officers as well that can help. And then you can see these other locations, so these other lenders that are available. So if you bank somewhere else and you want to use someone else that's on this list, go ahead. So it says All Western Home Mortgage, All Western Mortgage, CMG Mortgage, First Community Mortgage, American Pacific Mortgage. I mean, the list goes on, and it says more lenders to be added soon. Um, Check out our down payment resource center to find out and improve realtor. And this is what we want to do. So this is for me, right? I did reach out already. We do have a couple of, I believe we do have a couple of people from the ward team from our brokerage that's already on here. Let me see. Yep. From the ward team, we have Sonia Hatcher. She's on here. This is her information. And then Aline Soto. So your boy's trying to get added to this as well. You know what I'm saying? So I want to be one of those approved realtors as well that knows a lot about this program. And that's why I'm doing this, man. Just once again, just to push this information out, and two, just so you guys know the transparency that, hey, this program that I do definitely to support. So I want to get more information before I just dive all in, but I definitely give you this information. I would also say vet it, make sure it is what it is and it's correct, and you can verify information. Don't just go off of what I say, the next person says. Always verify. This is also Kaneem Manuel. This is the mortgage officer I was telling you guys about. This is his NMLS number. This is his email address and his phone number. So definitely give him a call if you're thinking about this particular program. If you need to get pre-approved, let him know that Mike sent you. He'll then let you know, hey, I'll send you back over to Mike when you're ready to get pre-approved. I'll have Mike help you with the home buying process or searching for that home, right? But definitely give Kaneem a call. He's a great guy. I really like him. He's an officer. I always give him a mess about it. He's an officer. I'm an enlisted soldier, but he definitely knows the in and out of a bunch of different programs. So if this program doesn't necessarily work for you, he has a couple others that may work for you as well. So definitely reach out to him. Now we're going back into targeted areas. That's what they talked about, right? They talked about targeted areas. So I know most people will say, man, I don't want to get pushed into a certain neighborhood because it could be sketchy, or maybe that's not the neighborhood I want to be in. So just once again, let's take a look before we just say, we don't want to do that, right? So again, it's reminding you again, I kind of like this. It just reminding you again what they can do. So this program is now open. It says program open now, 6.2% fixed interest rate with home buyer grant equal to 4% of the mortgage amount. Now, 6.2 is, I guess, high if you're looking at it from what we had in the COVID days. Yeah, we had 3%, 2%. But overall, over the last 30 years, I believe rates averaged around 8 to 9%. So, we got spoiled, guys. We got spoiled, ladies and gentlemen. But this is not out of the box, out of the ordinary. Now, if you decide later on, after a year, 2 years, 5 years, you want to refinance at some point, you got that option, right? You always got that option. But for the moment, you get to see that, hey, this program is now open. It's at 6.2 on a fixed interest rate. I love the word fixed. We don't mess around with adjustable rate mortgages at all, because that's how the housing market crashed and all that stuff, man. You don't want to even play with that. Now on a commercial side, sometimes you gotta take that risk. It is what it is. But when it comes to your home, man, you just want to make sure your costs are your costs and they're fixed and you know what it's going to be. Now, when it comes to taxes and your utilities, as a home buyer, I think that's why they got those classes for you guys, so you guys can understand all of your expenses when it comes to owning a home. But this is at least nice to know that your mortgage payment will be the same. Now, it shows you, once again, $200,000 equals an $8,000 grant. But remember, it said up to $20,000. So that's nice. So I don't know if you could say, hey, look, let me apply for $8,000 and then let's do the difference for whatever my closing costs are. And then let's see what that'll be. Again, if you want to apply today, this is the phone number you can use. This is their email address. And then, yeah, that's what you got. So here are some featured homes in targeted areas. Now, I don't know if these homes are still available, but let me let you know right now. I'll let you know. I'm pretty sure it's gone. They're just showing you guys. They're just showing you homes that were available in certain targeted areas, so you understand that these are not like straight $100,000 homes, 200,000. These are some beautiful, beautiful homes, man. So I'm just checking right now on the MLS to see if these are still available. Once again, if you guys don't know, I am a realtor. I do have access to the MLS. So it gives me a little bit more access than you guys get from just Zillow or Realtor. I can actually see if it's available or not. So I'm looking now at that house, that same house, right? It was, yeah, 2619 Grant Avenue. So I'm looking at the house right now, man. It does show it's active. And it shows the purchase price right now for that home is $289,000, not the $329 that's listed, which that is nice. So once again, that's probably one of the reasons why I keep telling you guys, verify, verify, verify. Just see what it is. Make sure, if there's a home in a targeted area, we're going to look on how we can actually say, hey, we see a home, how can we look on this website? Or what website do I need to find out? What website do I need to use to find out if it's in one of those targeted areas? And again, you still have that option. If it's not in a targeted area, your income status has to be a little bit different. Your income amount has to be different. This is another home, 3732 Fort Boulevard. That's available. That's nice, right? That's almost a $500,000 home, man. Oh my God. Good God, bro. So let's see. Let's take a look. So that one looks like it's closed. It already sold. Yeah, this house already sold. And remember, I told you guys, this is a buyer's market. Now, the home was listed. The home was listed for 450, 453. I hope these numbers, I don't know, these numbers are these are way off. That says 453. I'm looking at it right now and it says sold price was 215. So I don't know if this was at one point and it came down. I don't know what happened. But this home did sell for 279. So I'm looking at the house really quick. So this house needed a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie. This house needed a lot of work. A lot of work. So I think yeah, it definitely needed a lot of work. But like I said, as you can see, I mean, some of these are in beautiful areas. Beautiful. I'm not gonna look at each and every one of them, but some of them are sold, some of them are still available. Definitely do your market research. Work with a great realtor. Call myself. Call myself if you like. If you think I'm doing what I need to do to show you that, hey, Mike knows what he's talking about. Now, once again, these are a lot of new homes, a lot of different homes, a lot of homes that are available. 269, 209, 220, and I told you I had a $200 home. If you don't do anything with it, your monthly payments around 1,800. That's P&I, that's taxes, that's your insurance, that's your mortgage insurance as well. So you're looking about 1,800 if you could buy a $200 home. Now remember, with negotiations, all that great stuff that can help as well. Buying down your rate, that can do some stuff. That's a great question for this program though, because it does show a fixed rate. I don't know if you're able to buy that rate down. So I mean, once again though, you still have options. You still have different things you can do. But that at least gives you some information on. And like I said, look, this home right here, another $500,000 home. This actually looked like a new home. This is nice. 5 beds. Excuse me. This one's 5 beds, 3 baths. It says estimated payments around $3,000 bucks. This right here is $1,500. Remember, you still have your. This might be just your principal. It might not include all of your escrow stuff. So don't get hung up on that, but just make sure that you find out what's available. But this is nice, right? These are just some of the featured homes. So I think this website is just to show you that, hey, it's not just those homes you probably believe it. Maybe you thought it was mobile homes or something like that. And mobile homes are beautiful too if you're on a fixed income. I promise you, man. If I could start all over, I would have did a mobile home first, got my money right, and then I would have continued buying from there. But this is nice to know. I like that. Now we're going to the home buyers tab. The El Paso Housing Finance Corporation, making home ownership possible. Now this is a 4-minute video, so we're gonna play maybe half of it. I'm not gonna do the full. Maybe let's see what they're talking about.
Owning a home may sound like a distant dream, but what if it could be within
Once again, AI, bro. This is AI. AI. This is doing away with any intern. It's crazy, bro.
your reach? The El Paso Housing Finance Corporation is here to turn that dream into a reality with innovative grant programs. Introducing 2 groundbreaking initiatives: the Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program and the Welcome Home El.
And remember, we talked about this at the very beginning. El Paso created this El Paso Housing Finance Corporation, and this right here is just talking about those 2 programs we were talking about. You have the Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program and the Welcome Home El Paso down payment program. So they're just showing the initiatives that they have created.
El Paso Down Payment Grant Program. The Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program offers 4% of the home amount in down payment assistance. It requires a minimum FICO score of 640. You must be a first-time home buyer or no home ownership in the last 3 years. Must be below the income limits at the top right of the screen. The desired home must be in El Paso city limits, and you must complete any HUD-certified home buyer education. Visit the link on the screen to learn more about the Mi Casa program specifically. The Welcome Home El Paso Down Payment Grant.
Okay, we're going to talk about that program next week. So once again, it's just reiterating the same thing, bro. It's the same exact thing. And then once again, compare and contrast the different programs, which one you want to use that's available. This one looks really nice, but remember, this one looks way better because it goes up to 20,000. This one's going up to 16, but we'll talk more in detail of what this one is. Again, just going over the information is showing you that there's $25 million single family mortgage revenue bond program that's available. I found out a little bit about this as the investors. They put into this bond, and then boom, they get a kickback as well, because it is what it is on that. That's how they make their money. But it helps other people get into make buying homes readily available for everybody. So everyone has to win at the end of the day when it comes to this. Now, again, it goes over the same information we went over. 6.2, 30-year fixed rate mortgage. The property must be located in El Paso, Texas. The grant equals to 4% of the mortgage amount. So whatever the mortgage amount is, $200,000 equals an $8,000 grant. So I think that's what they mean by up to 20,000. So the grant is equal to 4% of your mortgage amount. So calculator 200,000 times 0.4. 200,000 times 0.04. Yeah, so that's 4%. Now we're talking about 20,000. Let's see. We talk about a $600,000 home. So you're talking about maybe a $500,000 home. Let's see. Yeah. So if you get a $500,000 home, $500,000 home, that's going to be 4%. 20,000 will be 4% of a $500,000 home. So once again, man, sheesh, when your boy actually start making some real money, we might get there. We might get there at some point, when your boy grow up. But anyway, once again, it's just going over that information. Unless you're buying in a target area, veteran exceptions may also apply. Once again, I told you, if we wouldn't have went onto this website, you wouldn't even known about this piece right here. So veteran exception may also apply. There's an exception to everything. There's added information to everything. This is the reason why we want to call and verify information. Boom. Again, it says submit a program application, call approved lenders, down payment resource teams, approved realtors, and loan officers, right? But you can do any realtor. Any realtor could help you with this. Not all realtors understand or know the program, but any realtor can help you. But these approved realtors definitely should know this program inside and out. Now it says, like I said, these are all of the lenders that are available, and they're adding more to the list. TDHCA 2023 single family allocation assignment, 100% of funds utilized. So this looked like another program that was used, another bond that was used at some point. $50 million assignment of a single family mortgage revenue bond, allocation to the state to originate under My First Texas Home Program, funded 282 loans, with 92% of families earning $80,000 or less within 1 year. Oh my God, that's beautiful, man. Like I said, if you know about this program, it's nice. I wish they would put, some of those families on here and just share their experience, or some of those families that, just talk about going through this particular program and how much it helped them. That would be nice to see on here. Now, this right here, home buyer education must be complete before loan closing. Mi Casa program accepts HUD-approved home buyer education providers. The link below provides online counseling resources. In-person home buying education options included. So they have information as well at GECU and Project Bravo. Let's click on this link and see what it takes us. So, boom, boom, boom. So it shows home buyer education. All buyers, any person on title to the property must attend an approved home buyer education course. All borrowers, except for co-signers and non-occupant co-borrowers, are required to attend, including first-time home buyers and repeat buyers. Remember, you can be a repeat buyer if you haven't bought a home within the last 3 years. Home buyer education must be conducted pre-closing and by HUD-approved counseling agencies. Okay, so we see that. Let's see. So this is telling us all the information. Boom, here we go. Seller's audio. Boom, you can go here. Let's see. Do they have any in El Paso, Texas? I don't see anything in El Paso, Texas. So I'm assuming you just have your search results, view agency backing your research, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's all I see. Let me see. Start new search. Let's see what it says. 79938. Boom, boom, boom. Select the type of service you're seeking. Buying a home. Buying a home. All right, so there's a bunch of different available There's a couple here. So you got the El Paso Community Action Program, Project Bravo, that's available. Adults and Youth United Development Association, that's in San Antonio. That's nice. And then you also have GECU, Federal Credit Union. So you got 3 different locations you can go to, which is pretty nice. And then in the state of Texas, there's a lot. There's some that are still available here as well. Right? So once again, that's why you have to go through these links, man. Go through these links, check what they're talking about, and then you go from there. So now we go back here. All right, nothing else is here. So we're gonna go to the next one. It says contact us. Support El Paso Housing Finance Corporation missions. Our programs, learn more about our programs, how we support the community, get involved. There are many ways to get involved with El Paso Housing Finance Corporation. Attend one of our events, become a program partner. I'm actually trying to become a program partner, man, but I'm still waiting to hear back. Or volunteer at one of our events. I love to volunteer. Our impact, find out how we've made a difference in the community and lives of those who serve. We are committed to improving the lives of others. This is nice. Contact. Okay, so now we go to lenders. We've already seen this. This has been throughout their website. All this stuff is the exact same. It repeats the same information. Now, yep, it repeats all the same information, right? Now, for renters, if you say you're not ready to rent, ready to buy, these are other resources you can utilize as well. So rental properties, these rental properties do accept housing vouchers, which is nice because I know there's a lot of people that don't accept housing vouchers for whatever reason. However, this is just a couple different locations. It's not even a dent, to be honest. This is a 14 unit apartment building, 27 units, 6 unit. I believe we have a huge housing shortage out here in El Paso, to be honest. And the only way that's going to be fixed is more building. I think the other thing as well is maybe more education on the program. A lot of people, to be honest, I'm just saying what it is. People are scared to take in people with vouchers because they just don't believe they're going to take care of the property for whatever reason. I've never ran into that issue here in El Paso. Now, I'm from South Bend, Indiana. That's definitely been the case. I know my dad, he used to accept housing vouchers, Section 8, all that great stuff. And he constantly had issues. But I really believe because maybe he wasn't managing it right, or he wasn't vetting the applicants very well. But there is an education piece that needs to be said, and I think that's what would help the housing market in the housing crisis out here. Maybe if the city reps this more of an education piece, or maybe create an incentive that helped homeowners understand that they should make their homes available to those type of occupants. That would help as well. Now, there's also a link here for developers. Affordable multifamily rehab and new development programs. This is nice as well. El Paso HFC is able to help single-family and multifamily developers rehabilitate older assets or build new properties with large cost savings. Both programs focus the purpose of a long-term commitment exchange of setting aside units for low to moderate income earning households in the city of El Paso. This is exactly what me and my brother is trying to do. And my brother's doing this right now with my dad. My dad purchased a retired bank. At the very top, there used to be old offices. They have, gutted it out, and they are rehabbing the property. And out of the 8 units they're creating, I believe maybe 4 of them are going to be purposed strictly for, veteran housing. That's federal housing at that point. A lot of developers do this. And, even if you're deciding to do the exact same thing, having that mindset in place, that'll help you with financing as well. Because if some of these programs or some of these loans, it helps incentivize these banks to offer you money knowing what you're going to do at the end of the day with it. So you're not just trying to generate a unit apartment building and it's just market rent. You're going to do, hey, 4 of those units are going to be for 4 different families that are in Section 8. And that helps. That definitely helps, man. every piece, everything counts. Now, let's go to frequently asked questions. Maybe one of your questions fall under this because I haven't seen anybody ask a question just yet. So, frequently asked down payment program questions. How do I apply to any of these programs? To apply any of our down payment programs, simply call any of the approved lenders and schedule an appointment. They will walk you through the entire application process and will let you know what to bring to your appointments, which is great. What about credit requirements? See and approved lenders to qualify. Every file is different. I told you guys that. So yeah, what they say, 640, right? They said 640, but every file is different, and consider various factors, including employment history, credit scores, debt to income ratio, savings. A credit score of at least 620 is required for a Welcome Home Grant Program and 640 for Mi Casa Grant Program. It doesn't hurt to try, even if your score is lower. Loan officers can help you focus on best areas of improving your application next time if the file is not approved. Remember, like I told you, the loan officer that I work with, Kaneem Manuel, with Chance Home Mortgage, he actually has a system where they actually do, they could look at your credit report, and they actually have a credit repair software program that actually help you and give you the correct steps on correcting and building your profile, making your profile a lot better. Are there upfront fees and closing costs that borrowers have to pay under this program? There are no additional upfront fees or closing costs to borrow for using our Welcome Home El Paso Down Payment Assistance Program. Do I have to pay back the assistance? No, it is not required for homeowners to pay back the assistance. Our down payment assistance programs are grants provided to qualifying participants. Once again, there you go. It's from the horse's mouth. You do not have to pay this back. How long does the process take? That's a great question. The process for down payment assistance is simultaneous with the mortgage process, approximately 30 to 45 days. That's usually how long it takes to close on a property, close on a home. Your loan officer will be assisting you with your mortgage approval and assistance approval. So they're going to be doing it at the exact same time. Perfect. Can I use HFC funds to purchase a rental investment property? No, the program is created with the mission of helping low to moderate income families purchase their primary residence. We do not allow program funds to be used to purchase a secondary home. So remember, this is going to be your primary residence. There's requirements with the FHA, VA, a lot of these mortgages, if it's not conventional, you do have a time that you have to stay in the property. So that's the same thing this is saying, basically. It's not paying for a second rental property or vacation home or anything like that. This has to be your primary residence. You have to live in that property. You have to get mail at that property. You have to sleep under that roof. That has to be your home. That's what this is for, And the mission statement is simply, like I said, you have a lot of families that would remember, man, this goes back to financial literacy. And I'm just talking about this because I didn't do it my damn self. I was bad at it too. I had to learn myself, man. But before all these programs, what did you have to do? You had to save to purchase a home. You had to save years and years and years just to have enough saved for your down payment and your closing costs. And you had to do the 20%, before all this other stuff came out, the FHA, the VA, having to put that money aside and just be disciplined about it. That was one thing. And then two, just being, financially responsible, not being over leveraged, man. Some families, a lot of families run into this issue, man. They just, no matter how much they try, they can't get to that point. Now, it's not saying that they can't pay for their home. A lot of people, they've been living and renting for years and years and years, no issues, of course. There's no really upfront cost. But when it comes to buying a home, there's an upfront amount of money you got to put up, which is very difficult for most to put aside. How long are both grant programs open for? Ooh, man, they spelled this wrong. So it doesn't say anything on this. Are certain properties not allowed under the HFC program? For our down payment assistance program, homes must be located within city limits. Homes must also be the borrower's primary residence. Some duplex properties may be eligible. Now, see, this is before I even knew it, because I gave y'all wrong information because I didn't know they wouldn't do multifamily. But some duplex properties may be eligible. So we got to talk to the lender about that. So right now it sounds like it's just for single family homes. But you have an option right here. Some duplex properties may be eligible. So, I will start there first. Hey, which properties are available? What do I need to find? How do I find out which duplexes are available? Boom. That's what I want to know. Now, is your home buyer education required? Your loan officer will remind you about completing the course. A completion certificate will be provided upon completion, as is valid for 12 months. The course is offered in English and Spanish. Boom. That's beautiful. Now, because it's a nonprofit, they most likely got a board, which they do. They have different meetings. The last meeting was October the 15th. They had one June 24th, June 30th. I don't have the minutes on here, but let's see what the heck they were talking about. They have anything here they were talking about specifically on the agenda? Let's see what they talked about. They did approval minutes for August 20th. They did a status report discussion. So this is probably where we would have found out, how much money is left over, what they've spent, who they've added. So impossible action related to Savvy Loft Apartments. I think some of these apartment complexes are downtown. Status report discussion and possible action related to Mi Casa Homebuyer Grant Program, single family mortgage revenue bond operation. So they were going to over that as well. Discussion action to establish personal committee for annual performance evaluation of executive director. Okay, so they're evaluating the executive director. And then they even put this in the city clerk. The city clerk got this. So presentation, discussion, and possible action related to August and September financial reports, and then adjournment. Okay, so that's what they talked about, and they were done. So posted this 10:25 a.m., not p.m. It's the a.m., not the p.m. Okay, and then let's see what they were talking about here. So the last one is here. Let's see what they're talking about here for the minutes. This is just June. Let's see what they were saying. Not too much stuff here, man. Jerry Romero, president. Melina Bailey, vice president. So quorum was established. Meeting was called at 3:03. President Jerry Romero. Board members were also present. Meeting started with Michael. So yeah, man. I mean, you can see it. They're actively doing stuff. The board is working. Everybody's participating. Information's here. It's being ran the way it needs to be ran. And so all week we're gonna go through this all week. So if you missed today, I'll do it again tomorrow. To the end of the week. I do have open houses, so I'm gonna try to find some time to go through this during the open house as well. But utilize this program, share this information out to whoever could use it, whoever's going through the home buying process, whoever you could think is the next to move. They may be able to benefit from this. So maybe they give you the extra little money they had that they were going to put down and say, hey, give me a little piece, man. Give me a little piece. No, I'll just play with y'all. But this is available, man. This is available. Maximize it, use it. Call, ask questions. That was the only other thing I didn't do. I'm going to call that and do that. I'm still waiting on a phone call back. I left voicemails and stuff, so I don't want to blow up too much. But yeah, that's it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, definitely hit me up. My phone number again is 915-487-6602. My website with all my social media handles is my keysandknowledge.com. So as you guys can see, keysandknowledge.com is scrolling. That QR code on the left-hand side of my screen, that also goes to the website. I have resources. I actually can show you guys so you guys can see I'm not playing no games. And also let me know what I need to add to this website as well. I want to have this as a living, breathing website. I mean, I'm paying for it. I might as well maximize it. This is what you see. I like this video. My wife said she likes this video just because it shows my wedding ring right here. But yeah, it has my information here. It shows, my brokerage that I work with, right? Um, keys and knowledge, your trusted advisors, some information on here, explore stunning property galleries. So there's a little bit of information on here. Um, you can set up your buyer consultation if you plan on buying at some point, book a time with me. If you want to sell your home, need more information, want to set up a CMA, book your time with me. For foreclosure consultation, it's a lot of work. I have created a book for this. If you want a lot of information for it, it depends on how much it is. We may need to book a consultation. This is a fee for it. However, if it's not a lot of information or you're just asking a couple questions about it, I have no problem talking to you and giving you that information as well. But if it needs to go into detail from start to finish, I'm gonna have to pay for my services on that, unfortunately. Also, here's my information as well. Contact us. You can see me in person. This is my office address, my phone number again, appointments. You could drop us a line, all that good information. At the very bottom, you'll see all my social media handles: Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. You got my TikTok, my Twitch. I got to figure out this Twitch thing, man. I'm not gonna lie. I got an X, I got a Yelp, and a YouTube channel. So on my Instagram, on my LinkedIn account, I fixed it. I got it updated. Let me see if it'll share this tab instead so you guys can see. So I got all my stuff on here. I'm going to start updating more with some more market information on here. So if you want to know more about El Paso as a whole, I'm going to send out and post more market information when it comes to like how long days on market a home might sit, or what's the trending market rate of homes, and is the property values growing. All that technical stuff I'll put on here. But yeah, so I have all the information here. On my other tab right here, community resources, my community resource tab has some information here as well, right at the very top. But I have links for all this stuff. City of El Paso. So once again, get a part of the city government, man. Go to those meetings. If you can't go to those meetings in person, watch it online. If you can't speak in person, sign up to speak over online as well. You can go on the phone. You can actually send an email. They'll read it if you actually signed up. So you can send that in as well. So you have the public comments time is like 10 o'clock. You can actually go ahead and just request to speak during that time. If you want to speak on any agenda item, you don't want to sit there and wait. I wait for the agenda item because I think it's more impactful. But you can still send it out that way as well. But I have access to the El Paso government, city departments, one-stop shop. If you're thinking about any business, anything particular when it comes to inspections, adding additions to your homes, this is where you want to see. You want to go here, El Paso Planning. I heard their phones. You call them on the phone, it's really hard to get in touch with them. But I did go to, I was a part of the Neighborhood Leadership Academy. And when I spoke to these gentlemen, when they actually did their briefing to our class, I mean, they said they were very, very open to you stopping by and them talking to you about, your steps and what you need to do. One bad habit I've seen so far, and that the city council has yet to put their foot on at this point, is people are just purchasing properties and not doing their research. Great example. Alameda, and this is before I got here. This is just the history. And I think a lot of El Pasoans know about the history. It's just one car lot popped up and another one popped up, and there was no neighborhood leadership. There was no neighborhood associations. There was nobody stopping this stuff. A lot of homes, these are residential homes, right? Where you live in is a residential home. But when it comes to commercial, it has to be zoned a certain way. It has to be looked at and vetted by the local government to make sure that, hey, this can be here, this is vetted here. You don't want to have a school next to a strip club or next to a bar. So there's planning that goes with it. But what people are doing at this point is just buying commercial properties because it's at a good price. And it's at a good price for a reason, because it's not zoned properly for you to use it for what you're trying to use it for. And at the end of the day, they're running business out of these properties and finding out they're not caring until someone actually sees it and catches them. And now they're trying to ask for forgiveness at the end. And I get it. Everybody's trying to make a living, everyone's trying to make a business. everybody's trying to do something, but you have to do it the right way because it can cost you more. I mean, you got fines, you have all sorts of things that can happen from that to the point that you may get closed down. I mean, I was at city council when there was an applicant that came up. They did buy a property. They wanted to, establish it as a business, but they had to close down. It was a car lot, and it was crazy because, yeah. Anyway, it was a car lot, and they have to close down. They're still operating. I don't know how they're still operating, but they're still operating. And yeah, but go through El Paso Plan. So if you're thinking about a business, anything that in El Paso, stop at this place, man. They're really good. El Paso County website. Make sure you go to the county website. Know that you're paying county uh, taxes as well. So you need to be involved with them and seeing what they're doing with your money as well. El Paso City Council meetings. Like I said, this is the agenda. This is the link to the agenda. Same thing when it comes to the El Paso County government meetings. The county government meetings are a lot better than city council meetings. I tell you, they will sit there and they have their stuff digital where you can go online, you can see the whole meeting, you can watch the meeting. They have man, it's just a lot more graphics. It's just way better. They have the agenda attached to the video. So as the video is going, you can see where they're at with the discussions, as well as if you're online, you could just kind of click in and speak on certain objects. They'll open up the room, the floor for people to talk. That's one thing I will say about the county meetings. They're a little more, interactive and social, and then they, it's not as formal. Well, it's formal, but it's not as strict as the city council meetings, man. It's just way different. You'll see the difference. What I also have here, like I said, think about it from the mindset of someone coming in, not knowing what's going on in El Paso, what to do in El Paso. First thing I have loaded up, man, you guys see it. And there's no advertising. I'm not paying, no one's paying me for this. I just thought these are things that people need to have to do El Paso, man. If you need to know what's going on in El Paso, go to do El Paso, bro. Go. I mean, it's going to show you calendar days. It's going to show you things for the kids, camps, all through the summer. This is a great resource, as well as this page actually keeps up with a lot of this local government information. A lot of things that are being developed here. Visit El Paso's another great resource. That's actually the city source right here. But this is nice as well. Just as it's not as good as To Do El Paso, but it's up there. El Paso Museum of Arts, that's up here. El Paso Mission Trail Associations. If you would like to go on trails. Eventbrite, these are nice little classes, things that you want to go throughout the city. This is nice as well. El Paso Zoo, get information about the zoo. Water parks, remember El Paso has multiple water parks. None of the districts, none of the district reps could agree to have a central location for all the water parks, so they end up spreading them out throughout the districts, which I get it because a lot of people they can't travel. It's just not readily accessible to everybody. So this is the way they have done it. And so if you're looking for a water park, definitely click this link and see which one is closest to you. They have passes, and these are real water parks. They're not huge, but these are many nice water parks, man. Also, when we go to the restaurant, food resources. This is my favorite right here, right? Open table. So you want to reserve a table at a nice fine dining restaurant. Boom, this is a great resource. You got Yelp, of course. TripAdvisor. This here, man, I have yet to do this. I have talked to the owner. She knows about my cheese issue. I don't like cheese too much. I mean, I can eat pizza, but it cannot be an abundance of cheese, bro. It just can't. And I think on the pizza tour, man, I don't have a problem. But I did talk to the owner. She's great. She's lovely. I appreciate her. But they are doing pizza tours, and this is nice. You actually get to get on an actual, I think it's a party bus, some sort of small bus, luxury bus. It's nice, and you tour to different pizza locations where they hand make their pizzas, and you get to see it done in front of you. You get to talk to the chefs if the chefs have time. You get a whole history, and this is nice, man. I tell you, this kind of reminds me. Germany doesn't do this, but the difference between Germany and America is everything's a lot slower and handmade, and it's just everything's done a little bit just slower in Germany compared to in America. And this Texas pizza tour reminds me of that. How people hand make it in the dough. and roasting it and putting it into the fire burning stove, and the traditional way, the old way, the old fashioned ways you make stuff. Like, I miss that. That's why I brought that up. Of course, can't miss me, right? The Williams Advanced Realty listing. These are all the listings within my brokerage. So definitely take a look. Go through here as well. Shopping. You want to do shopping? Of course, this is here as well. Silla Vista Malls here. The outlet shops going towards Anthony. That's here. You got the shops at Solana. This is nice as well, man. I was just renamed Freedom Crossing. I have Freedom Crossing for my soldiers. That's all that information on here. And of course, your school resources. I have all the school corporation, the school districts are on here. University of Texas, the El Paso, UTEP is on here, community college. Use these resources for community college and UTEP. Now, there's also stuff you can use for your kid as well, especially when it comes to weekend classes. They also do summer programs as well. And we're talking about signing them up for like a STEM program. They want to learn Spanish. There's certification they could do. I even had my kids signed up for El Paso Community College. They learned piano 1 and 2. They had piano recitals. I mean, bro, use these resources, click on them, understand them, get a better understanding. As a realtor, I'm not allowed to like steer you to a particular school district. That's not my job. But I utilize and give you guys resources to help you with that decision. This right here, TA, Texas Education Agency Rating Schools, use this as a great resource so you can get a better understanding of these particular districts, of course. All right. For people that need early childhood intervention, kids with autism, different disabilities, this is a great resource as well. And I just want to add to it. I'm probably going to add another page to it. But yeah, that's where I'm at, man. Of course, I got my contact page. You need any information, boom. Everything by appointment. Call me, make an appointment. We can sit down. These appointments aren't a commitment to me. We sit down, talk, see what your goals are, what you want to do, what you want to accomplish. That's all that is. And then frequently asked questions. This is just frequently asked questions from the home buying perspective. But that's all I got. Went over an hour, but I appreciate everyone that came on, stopped in and out. Share this, please share it. All week I'm gonna be doing this exact same thing. On the Mi Casa home buyer program, we are going to be experts. I'm going to know it front and back. You're going to know it front and back, and we're going to make sure that, hey, this is being used, spent, and we're on to the next one to help more future homeowners. All right. This is Mike Clark. You already know what it is. Talk to you later. Peace.